Hey, welcome everyone. GM, GN to all. Uh, Gotham, how are you? Can you hear me?
Hey, Pablo. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. It's nice to be here. A lot of things happened last month, so I'm excited to share those things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
excited to cover them all and also get any updates about what's coming. And yeah, I mean it's December, so it's crazy that it's been. I feel like the last 2 months have been so many different news. I've been. It's hard for me to summarize everything. So yeah,
yeah. In fact, when I thought about this in today's AMA, I was preparing and I jotted down like all the things that we did, and it's like on an even on a high level, it's already like 11 points on the things that's completed, and like extra like 4 or 5 points on the works that's ongoing. And this is not including the bug fixes or anything like that. It's just the high level, solid features that we added so far. So a lot of things happened last month.
all right, so should we just jump right into it? So we'll do updates and then questions and then maybe do some live questions if we have time.
Yep, absolutely. All right.
All right.
So welcome everyone. So I will start with the what happened in November. So the biggest elephant in the room is like we have 1,000 users right now. As you can see from the subscan, and I think that happened like last week. And we finally crossed that benchmark, and right now it is roughly around 1,020 or something unique users in the order book. And along with that, our average deposit size and the average transactions within in the order book is now like roughly around 200 dot on an average. And the most of the action is what we are seeing in dot and the DEX pair, and the rest coming from all the other pairs. So that's the first point. And the second point is like with all these new users, we are seeing like on most of the days we are seeing like roughly around 100,000 daily trading volume. It's like touch and go. Some days it's more than $100,000, and some days it's a little bit less than that. So that's pretty cool. That's the second point. And the third one is that we added the Fala token, and also we are preparing for the Glimmer listing, which means like all the channels are being opened with them, and we got the proposal passed in the Moonbeam community, and thanks to the community, our community, for that helping us pass that proposal. And so yeah, before the December ends, there'll be like public referenda and the public proposal to list Glimmer or not. We have done the technical part. Now it is technically possible to bring Glimmer to the our ecosystem, but at the end of the day, the decision to list or not list should lie with the community, because what we think is at the end of the day, the team should not be required to run the Polkadex. It should be a fully self-sustainable. It's not like centralized exchanges where you need to get a permission from the team to do this. So our job is to make it technically possible to bring a particular token or a connect with a particular ecosystem, and that our job or our responsibility ends there. Now it's the community's decision whether to list a token or open a market or or not. So yeah, Glimmer is now, it's technically possible to bring that, and one of the council members probably will put up the proposal, and then it will go to public referenda, the democracy, and the community can vote on it. So that happened. And the biggest problem that we face right now is obviously the liquidity, because if someone is selling or buying like $4,000, $5,000 worth of trade, the order book is getting skewed in one way or the other. So that's the biggest problem we are facing right now, and our solution for that is basically implementing the liquidity mining palette, which basically is an incentivization or gamified manner in which we can attract liquidity from the public and from the community, and add more liquidity. It's something done by all the other teams and all the other ecosystems out there. It's not like something very we are not reinventing the wheel here, so it's straightforward. The beauty here is, but it's more like Uniswap. So as far as the retailers, the retail traders are concerned, or the liquidity providers are concerned, they don't need to trade themselves or market make themselves, or they don't need to get familiar with trading bots or things like that. I mean, if you do, that's pretty cool. But if you don't, but you have liquidity to provide or help us with bootstrapping the liquidity, then obviously you can do that through this palette, which is supposed to go live somewhere around mid of January. And the backend, the blockchain logic for that is now getting completed. And we are currently, I mean, I had just had like 3 calls with one of the top market makers who we are expecting to onboard in Q1. And they will be part of the liquidity mining program also. So they will be managing all these assets and market making in Polkadex order book. And we are getting feedback on the LMP design and then how the deposits and withdrawals work, and how it will be helpful for the market makers to use their strategies on this. I have one more call tomorrow with one of the market makers, and that will finalize the last few bit of details that we need to finalize. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, it's more like Uniswap, where you can add liquidity at any time, and then that will be used by the market makers for market making, and the withdrawal will take like 28 days. That's the 28-day period is the duration at which the market maker will be market making with a certain amount of funds, and at the end of 28 day, the withdrawals will execute, and the withdrawal can withdraw. But compared to Uniswap, since the inventory is actively managed, the chances of impermanent loss are almost negligible. Obviously, it will be there in the early stages, but as we bootstrap the liquidity, the chances of having impermanent loss goes down, because obviously we already know that there are a lot of people who are arbitraging between Polkadex and KuCoin and a few other exchanges using the Hummingbot, the connector that we have built. So it will be, the chance of impermanent loss will be much low. So that's happened. And the 7th is, I mean, as I tweeted earlier, we have finally connected. We are, in the internal testnet, we are connected to Ethereum, and we made our transfers a few weeks ago. I have shared a screenshot of that from one of our engineers in the Twitter, and so that marks the beginning of what we promised with Tia. Like the ability for Polkadex to connect to pretty much all the ecosystems out there, irrespective of whether they use proof of stake or proof of work or whatever it may be. We don't care. Tia doesn't care, and we still have all the validators sign that and then verify that, and then process the deposits and withdrawals. So Ethereum is complete, and the beauty here is we can use the same logic, because Ethereum obviously a part of Tia will be in Solidity contract, so we can reuse that in Polygon or any other EVM based chains. So the onboarding or the technical feasibility to onboard with other EVM based chains are relatively very easy, and so that's there. And yeah, so today we had the runtime upgrade, which is successfully done like few hours ago. And with that runtime upgrade, the ability to pay fees with other tokens. For example, like one of the most critical feedback that we received so far is the new users who come to Polkadex needs to go to a centralized exchange to buy PDEX, and only with that they can onboard and start using the products. So we heard your feedback. Now that has been solved with the runtime upgrade today. You can send like USDT dot or any other higher market cap token, and the backend will automatically convert to PDEX without going to a centralized exchange. Backend is already there, available now. Like the team is integrating it to the front end and doing a bunch of tests, and there will be an official announcement on that when the public can use it through the front end. And those who are techie enough, you can definitely use it right now through the Explorer. It's already there with the runtime upgrade. And yeah, so that's there. And I mean, to make this happen, we had to install like an AMM into the blockchain. It's basically the Uniswap version 2 style AMM, which is basically converting for example, if you send DOT, you're a new user, you have no account in Polkadex, but you want to use Polkadex for trading. So you are bringing DOT through XCM, Polkadot, you're sending the DOT here. And let's say, we will use this AMM to convert that, by one PDEX or the existential deposit required for you to create the account, and then DOT will be deposited to that. And this happens completely on chain. There is no middleman here. You can check the code there. It's completely on chain and automatic. And also there's an option, like if you have like multiple assets, there's an option to select which asset you want to pay. That's also possible. And the third thing is the ability to pay the fees in, like, for example, the transaction fees. So you're making a transfer, you have one PDEX existential deposit in your account, and let's say you have like 5 DOT, and you want to transfer DOT to another account. And obviously, if you only have one PDEX in your account, you cannot make it that transfer. I mean, before the runtime upgrade. But with the new runtime upgrade, you can do that transfer and pay the fees in DOT, which is again converted behind the scenes from DOT to PDEX and paid to the validators. So ability to pay in DOT, USDT, and all the other currencies is available right now. And so this all thing, I mean, all these 3 features were part of the runtime upgrade which happened today. So you can wait for the official announcement when you can start accessing through, you start using these features through the front end. We are doing a bit of testing on that, and then it will be available. So that's pretty cool. So these are the things that we did in November. Like you can see, there are a lot of features that got added here, and a lot of functionalities was got added. And this is the high level features that we added, and there were a lot of bug fixes. Especially Thea faced few issues with the validator section change, and we fixed that. And we are aware of one order book bug. Basically, when you place trades too fast, especially from high frequency trading bots, the balance takes to update the front end balance, the database that we show, the indexing that we do. It takes like 1 second to update, and which is causing the bot to resubmit the transactions and things like that. So we are aware of that. We are working on that right now. So that's one of the things that we are working on right now. The ability to update our front end and all the numbers that we show from the order book as fast as possible in like low latency manner, so that high frequency bots can efficiently market make. So that's something that we are working on. And second thing, this is again another critical feedback that we received from the community, that is removal of email. So that is getting done right now. And based on my latest update from the front-end team, it can go live somewhere around like end of December, hopefully before the vacations start, before the Christmas starts. And through that, with that update, you don't need to sign up with email, because all the authentications that we were using, like all the email-based authentication of our APIs that we were using previously is now removed, and we found a different way to protect our APIs. And now you can sign up using the wallet. So it will be just like using Uniswap or any other DeFi product, where you don't need to reveal your email or anything like that. Just connect your wallet, start trading. That's it. So that's also coming in. It's currently in works right now. Probably like end of December is what we think we can ship it out. And again, so LMP, the backend program is getting completed. Now we are working on we need to start working on the front end and and integrate the whole thing. So that will again take the entire December, and also like early January we will release it. And since it is completely on chain, we don't think there will be like too much bugs per se for that, and we'll be able to make it public probably by mid January. So that's also what we are doing right now. I think these are the a bunch of things that we are doing right now, and what we did in the last few months. And again, Thea will also go live somewhere around the same time in January, like mid of January, because it's a straightforward process, because Thea is already live. It's just adding few network IDs and the connectors and deploying the contracts in Ethereum to make it work. So that's the main thing. There'll be another runtime upgrade and validator upgrade. It is more similar to what we did few months ago, where the validators needs to change the section keys and things like that. That is coming because we found an improvement in Thea, because the current Thea that is deployed right now, it costs around like $45 to $50 for withdrawal in Ethereum, in the current bear market prices. But when bull market goes, it's gonna go up. but we found a way to reduce that down to like $5 to $10. So that's an update that we need to make. It involves a lot of cryptography and the change in cryptography that we use right now in our validators. So that update will come like somewhere in the mid of December or probably early January. And with that runtime upgrade, with that upgrade for validators and the runtime upgrade, the TIA can go live, and it will make it way cost efficient to use Ethereum or Polygon or any other EVM based chain. Yeah, so that's it, I think. So these are the high level features or tasks that we are working on right now, and what we expect to go live. And the holy grail feature that I was talking about in the earlier AMA, that is planned after TIA and LMP, because even for that to work, that to be effective, we need LMP, we need liquidity. It's only then it's a point of attracting trades from other ecosystems or other chains. So LMP takes the highest priority, then TIA takes the priority to Ethereum, and then the Holy Grail feature, which we expect to go live, somewhere around mid of February. Don't hold me for February, but only the LMP and TIA is something that we are super confident about. The Holy Grail feature is something that we will start in January, and we expect to complete it by mid of February. Yeah, I think that's the bunch of major updates that we have so far. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Gautam. That's a lot. I mean, yeah, already November was a big month. I think you also, when you were going through the highlights of November, I heard some, missing things. We listed IBTC as well, for example.
Yes. We did do IBTC. Yeah, I mean, we were listing like 2 tokens per month. Yeah, we did list IBTC.
Yeah, I just wanted to catch that.
Pablo, maybe you can share about the marketing side. Like the airlift program that the incentive schemes and all those programs.
Yeah, so
Maybe
we
you can share
so
that a bit.
we did a airlift campaign for IBTC, and it went pretty well. We had around 700 or 800 participants, and yeah, we're trying to do it again with the follow listing. Um, the IBTC one was a 1,000 PDEX reward pool, and for follow, we're gonna do a 500 PDEX reward pool. It's currently being voted on by through governance. But yeah, it should be. I mean, the idea is that we're getting, people to create content and also help spread the word about the listing, and then also incentivizing people to come on and trade that specific asset, or bring in liquidity to the order book. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do with these listing campaigns, and I'm excited for the follow one to launch. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I think we can jump into the questions, Gotham.
Sure.
Okay, so I think you've kind of touched on this in the updates, but the main thing is, the question is, when do we expect the smooth and seamless onboarding of new users? This should be our topmost priority right now.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, we heard that critical feedback from the community, and we also respect that and agree with it. So that's why the ability to pay in other tokens was took highest priority even before LMP and TIA, and we made those changes with the latest runtime upgrade and it's currently deployed. And the second critical feedback was the email, and that is getting removed right now. So there is an internal front end without email currently inside the company, and we are going through testing and iterations, and we think that by like probably 15th or December something, we will complete the task, and we will just give it to the internal team for testing. So we have, I mean, as we have announced in one of the public announcements earlier, like we have an internal testing team for the front end right now. We hired a partner for that, so we'll be providing this in front end for that testing, and then we will make it live as soon as possible, either in December if we can do that before the vacation starts, or in early January. So with that, these two features, the onboarding becomes much more easy, and a brand new user doesn't need to go to a centralized exchange to get PDEX or anything of that sort. And even on top of that, we made it even more, a little bit more sweeter, because and once that user comes in, you don't need to hold PDEX in your account for the transaction fees and things like that. Because it will be converted in real time to PDEX, whatever asset you are holding, like higher market cap assets. Obviously, like tokens that have lesser market cap than Polkadex, it doesn't make sense to make it usable for transaction fees. But things like DOT, ETH, USDT, you can whenever you make the transaction, it will go to the on-chain swapping mechanism, and then swap it for the PDEX token, and that PDEX will be bought back from the market and then used for paying the transaction fee. So that's also there. I mean, these are like the main changes, the three critical things that we did to improve the user experience immediately. And there are a bunch of things that we can do down the lane, especially with TIA and unifying the front end between TIA and order book, so that it looks like one unified front end. And a bunch of things that we can do, to improve the overall user experience. But it's obviously it's an iterative experience only through feedback, because only the people who use from an unbiased perspective can provide like these kind of critical feedbacks, because we are seeing this front end every day, we're working on it every day, so we don't relate to that from a user standpoint. So only third party, on a third set of eyes can point out, okay, this is the experience, or this is the feature that we want. So we are open to that, and through the different channels that we know, we can work on it and improve the user experience even better than that.
Yeah, I mean, those have been kind of in the cards for a while. The seamless transaction conversion, and the email, and the removal of email registration, and Thea opening up to Ethereum. Those are three main points that I think everybody's excited for. So yeah, hoping those I mean, those are removing barriers for new users for sure. Okay, so next question is, can we expect to see trading pairs on Polkadex with PDEX as the quote currency in the future? For example, FA PDEX or IBTC PDEX.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And like as I mentioned earlier, it's up to the community. We are not the gatekeepers of what to list or what to not list. We just make sure that technically it is possible to do that. That's it. And if anyone wants to list, like let's say Fala and PDEX, or IBTC and PDEX, they can reach out to one of the council members, or raise directly raise a proposal on chain. And we can help them with how to raise a proposal and all those things. That's totally possible. And see, at the end of the day, let's say 1 year from now, this whole listing a market and delisting a market, or incentivizing liquidity to a market, all these decisions will be made by the token holders. We will play no role in that, and we will actually move away from all those decisions, because that's actually better for us, and we will only look at it from a technical standpoint. And the second thing is, again, when the LMP goes live in January, which market to list, incentivize, or how much incentive should be there in that market. All these parameters, will be decided by the token holders. Let's say, for example, initially when LMP goes live, it will be maybe DOT market, DOT USDT market, and ETH USDT market will be incentivized, and PDEX USDT market, obviously. And now, the community can decide whether to increase the rewards on these markets for more liquidity, or decrease it and add a new market to that bunch. So all these decisions will be a proposal and completely based on token holders' decision, and we will play no role in that. But we will be open to critical feedback on like how things should be, and we will help to technically implement that. So you can think of more of us like a technical operator rather than an exchange operator, because we are not holding custody of assets. We are not deciding which assets to list or not list. We are just merely a technical operator, and that's how it should be as a decentralized exchange. Yeah, I mean, it's currently complicated, a little bit complicated for a new beginner to list a token. So that's something again, we are working on, how to define the parameters, how to calculate these parameters when you raise a proposal. We'll be releasing a lot of documentation on that. So that's something another, from an operational standpoint, these are a bit of things that we are currently working on. We're creating a full-fledged documentation on how to create a listing proposal, how to create a delisting proposal, like removing a market, and how to incentivize liquidity and all those things. Because once all these products come out, and more the team and the council members use it, it becomes more and more clear how the documentation should look like. And I think that's clear right now because in the first few markets we listed from the team side using sudo. Now sudo is not involved in that. We go through the council members, and after that it should be like community, not even through the council members. Like any token holder can go through our documentation, raise a proposal, and it's listed if the community decides to vote on it. So that's how we want to open markets in Polkadex, and we as a team will not be engaged in. But we will act as a since we are also token holders, we can convey our decisions through voting, but not through technical changes on it.
Yeah, and I mean, for additional context, the follow listing was the first democratic listing on Polkadex. I know we've posted about that in the last few days and weeks, but just good to remind everybody that this was the first time, that as a network, we listed a token, with a vote, and I think it's all going to become more robust, right? Like there's going to be, as you said, more documentation for people who want to list tokens to follow a set of criteria that will make, I guess, a proposal more appealing for the community to vote on. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you can you can have a proposal just to add a pair and that's it, or the proposal can have more details into, okay, we're adding this pair, we're bringing in this market maker, we're bringing in this much liquidity ourselves, whoever makes the proposal. So all these kind of details can be more fleshed out in the proposals themselves, right?
Yeah. And to add a bit of context right now, like we are also thinking about like some kind of, I mean, obviously, like if there are like 50 different proposals coming in at the same time, it becomes a headache for the community. So there should be some kind of spam filter there. And currently we're just brainstorming ideas here. So these things are, I mean, the things that I'm going to say right now, it's not finalized. It's something that we are just brainstorming here, like having some kind of token deposit. Let's say like if a project wants to list a token, they have to like lock up, let's say 1,000 PDEX, and for the duration when the market is open in Polkadex, more like a listing fee that centralized exchanges charge. And this token can go to treasury, or it will be just in a locked state in the blockchain, something of that sort. So that will avoid having like spam proposals going on the blockchain, and then abusing the time of community and the other volunteers in the community. So yeah, and these are like few things that we can think of, like how to properly structure the democratic way of listing in Polkadex.
Cool. Then, yeah, the only other question that we have on here is there a competing product that possesses similar capabilities and characteristics as Polkadex, or does Polkadex have a unique selling point in the entire crypto universe, is what it says, the question.
Yeah, that's a very broad question, but yes, I mean, definitely the key edge that Polkadex has is like it's Thea. It's not the order book. It's not anything else. Any other component that we have. It's basically Thea, because with Thea we'll be able to connect just like any other centralized exchange through any ecosystem, because we depend on a primitive that is widely available, a cryptographic primitive that is widely available in all the ecosystems out there, including Bitcoin. We also have I mean, I have a theoretical idea on how to support native Bitcoin, not IBTC, like native Bitcoin, but it's something way too complicated to implement right now. So we'll be focusing on EVM chains and all those kind of things, and focus on getting the trading volume up, collecting the trading fees, and on all those kind of things, trading fees and buying back the token and all those things. But yeah, I mean, coming back to my point, because of Thea, the Polkadex ecosystem as a whole, that means the order book and everything else, can access like Ethereum, Polygon, like all the other chain ecosystems out there, and bring any kind of asset. So right now we are focusing on ERC20 tokens and fungible tokens in general. But Thea doesn't really say that, okay, you can only bring fungible tokens. Thea can bring any arbitrary data. So it can be an NFT, it can be like some kind of like identity or whatever it may be. Bunch of data. That's it. That's all Thea cares about. So with this primitive, down the lane, once we are connected to most of the prominent ecosystems out there, the community or the wallet, the core contributors can focus on building like other kind of systems, and that can be tradable. Let's say, I mean, I'm just throwing ideas here. Through Thea, we can bring an NFT, or we can bring a synthetic asset from any other token, any other ecosystem, and that can be traded in Polkadex. That's possible. So those kind of features can be built on top of Thea, which again provides more and more value to Audible. So it always makes sense for a token project to list with Polkadex rather than going to a isolated DEX in any other ecosystem. So that's something that we are thinking, a core primitive that we have. And the reason is, there is one more aspect here, a technical aspect, because since we are building on substrate, and especially we have a decentralized permissionless 200 validator set. I mean, I don't even know like who all are running in the network right now. It's like completely permissionless. And the time, like for the last 3 years, we were able to build this community, right? That adds a lot of value here, and because of that, the security of TI is also increasing, and the function, the cryptographic primitives that we use, the way TI is implemented in Polkadex is not possible in other parachains or any other new substrate projects to start, because for new solo chain based projects, obviously, they can have these host functions and technical aspects of TIA, but it will take them a similar amount of time that we took to build a proper decentralized permissionless validators, and the community that we have. So we have, so the advantage is in two prongs. One is the time advantage that we have, with the growth of this community and the permissionless nature of it, and the possibility of having the technical advantage of TIA being the withdrawals being signed by all 200 of the validators, just like how the grandpa and all those finalities work. Because I will give you an example. I was going through the docs of Wormhole in a few days ago, and I saw that it's secured by 19 proof of authority validators. That means like there are like 19 nodes running somewhere who claims they have an identity. There is no proof of stake or anything of that sort, and they're just signing on top of it, and we have to trust them. But compare that to 200 anonymous permissionless validators that we have, who will be attesting the withdrawals and deposits. That's way better, and there's a stake behind it. So that's the reason, like when people understand and get to know more about TIA and how this whole technical stuff work, they will see the security benefits of using Polkadex, and also the capabilities it brings and the value adds it brings for for being a token listed in Polkadex. So yeah, that's my answer to that.
That's a pretty good answer. Okay, well, that's the end of the questions that we had that we got from the submissions. Do you want to open it up for a few live questions, Gautam?
Yeah, I got like 10 minutes. So like, yeah, a few quick questions will be fine.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions that they want to ask Gotham live, just raise your hand. I think that's how you still do it, and request to speak. And yeah, I'll add you on here, and you can ask your question. It's always a little bit of an awkward time between when we say live questions welcome and when the first hand goes up. So yeah, I got to fill up that space somehow. All right, we have our first one. Kumar, I'm adding you as a speaker right now.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hi, Gautam. Hi, Pablo. Hi, community members.
Hi, Kumar.
Hi. So I don't really have a question, but I just wanted to come online and basically convey my thanks to you and the whole team. So I have been in this community since quite some time, and I have been using Order Book quite a lot. So I just wanted to say thanks for all your efforts. If you go back a year before, and when the Order Book 1.0 was there, it was to be honest a disappointment, right, to say the least. But from there on, your team has turned this whole thing massively, and you have made tremendous progress. So you guys had to change course, and of course there was a lot of community feedback, and all of that I think has been by quite a bit accepted by you, and the path has been also corrected and maybe evolved based on our feedback. So, and of course, as you said, the next 3 months of your roadmap also kind of emphasizes on that. So, I think all in all, your team deserves a very good holiday break to rejuvenate and take care of your loved ones. So, all the best, and I will continue to support Orderbook, PDEX, and continue to trade on it. And I'll continue my support with whatever capacity I can. So, thanks everyone. Thank you, Gautam. That's all for me.
Thanks, Kumar. Thanks for your good words about us. I would never say that okay, this is the perfect product right now because we have improved a lot, obviously, in terms of technicalities and also the features and everything. But this is not where we want. I would say I'm satisfied with the product. Um, like I would say, Polkadex reaches the actual mark. That's when we have $1 billion in trading volume, because that's the mark, that benchmark that at least I have internally when I say that okay, I'm satisfied with the product because that's the benchmark that we had from the beginning, and that should be possible. And obviously, like the team is not perfect. Not anyone is perfect in the world. So we will go through this iterative cycle, and then all the feedbacks are welcome, and we need to work with that to reach that goal. Because uh, the one thing that I do want to say is that a lot of times we see like the community get a lot of disappointed with the delays and everything. Obviously, there are reasons for that, and people who work closely with us do know why certain things happen a certain way. But you do have to compare with other competitors out there and look at what are the corners they cut to reach their timelines and milestones. And as an example I took is we were in a wormhole. So it's basically the same as Thea. And I was actually looking into the documentation. So they're just doing 19, I think they call it Guardians or something like that. But come on, that's like 19 servers running somewhere. That's it. There is no proof of stake. There is no, legit security behind it. And they're having a lot of trading volume, or the rich transaction volume going through that. But and community is not aware of this, and people who are really techie enough, who can go down the documentation and figure out these things, only they know about it. So that's something that community should do. I think that's something taken for granted in the crypto ecosystem, because everyone needs to be like techie enough to to understand and evaluate and compare two different things. And even in Polkadex, there are a bunch of things that we need to improve our Satoshi Nakamoto coefficient. Basically, the score for decentralization and everything. Like right now, talking about our problems and the things that we want to improve. Right now, the order book is in a centralized server. That is where the request for buy orders and the intention to buy or sell from the traders come in, and we match, and then we send that trade information to the blockchain where it is getting settled. So we don't hold custody. That's cool, but at the end of the day, like the fully matured product, it should have order book also on the blockchain, which is a physical impossibility right now, because with 200 validators distributed across the planet, it's literally impossible to get a let's say a place order request going from, let's say, from India to all around the world and come back in under 1 second. That's not possible. It's a physical impossibility. But we have to think about what are the other things that we can optimize or trade off to get there and make the order book in a decentralized manner. There are other teams or other projects who are doing like on-chain order books, but what you have to think about is like scientifically, physically, that is not possible. So they did sacrifice or traded off something in terms of decentralization or security or something to make that possible. And that it's just a parameter, it's like a lever. You have to push one and only pull down one, only the other one will go up. So that's something. And what we think is, at least with our model, like the worst thing that can happen with a centralized order matching engine is everyone's orders will be cancelled, right? Or orders will be matched in a different manner. That's the worst thing that can happen. Like people will not lose custody of their assets, or if and if they are not, if the community is not happy with the operator, the order matching engine operator, they can simply replace us with a like someone else can run the software, put a proposal to replace the operator and start running. So that's the ideology or the vision that we have, where we have to decentralize as much as possible, improve the user experience as much as possible, also take care of all the stakeholders. That is the token projects who want to list with Polkadex, the traders inside the Polkadex, market makers, liquidity providers, everyone. And we play a role of a technical operator, where we provide technical services and we improve the protocol. And again, when talking on this topic, if there are like front-end developers in the community, we are looking to delegate one task to the community, so that if someone is there who can design a front end, like a Uniswap like front end for us, please do reach out to us. We can talk about it, and then we can maybe put up a proposal on the treasury to compensate for the efforts and things like that. Because right now we have a Uniswap version 2 style AMM, as I mentioned earlier, with this runtime upgrade, which is used for paying the transaction fees and all those kind of things. And we want to delegate it, because we have a lot of things with the order book and everything. And it's better to have like community engagement, even in the technical implementations that we do. So if there are any front-end engineers in the community in this call, please do reach out to us so that we can talk about it. Yeah, I think that's anything. Any other questions, Pablo? Pablo, you're on mute if you're speaking.
Yes, I was speaking on mute. I'm sorry. I saw that Stefan had his hand up, so I added him as speaker as well. So Stefan, if you still have something you want to ask or say, yeah, now's the time.
Hey, all together. How are you?
Hey, Stefan. How are you? I'm good. How are you? How are you doing?
Nice. I'm fine. Thank you. And thank you for this honor. Nice news for every community member, I think. But I have a few questions about marketing. I have seen many community members writing about marketing. It occupies, I think I want to know what you're planning. So can you tell me what marketing measures you are planning and what is the status for this?
Stefan, I was not able to hear you clearly. Pablo, did you hear him clearly?
Yeah,
The question?
I heard it was a little muffled, but I heard. So your question is about marketing and planning for marketing um, going forward, right, Stefan?
Oh
Yes,
yeah, okay.
right.
Yeah, Stefan. So the idea is, once we have the LMP, because if you do marketing right now with the liquidity we have in the beta stage, it is not enough to sustain a lot of market takers in the system. So the benchmark for starting the marketing would be the liquidity mining program should go live, and it should attract a significant amount of liquidity. I'm saying like 50K to 100K worth of liquidity per market, and that would be the right time, we to go on full throttle with the marketing, because at that time the system is primed enough and ready in terms of bug fixes and liquidity and trading bot support and everything, to start taking the customers. So yeah, liquidity mining program is something when we think we should go full throttle with the marketing.
Yeah, and I think that's also, just to add, it's also related to kind of the onboarding itself. Like, there's a few of the blockers to marketing are also uh, the issues that we're currently working on in terms of onboarding, which is the one that just went live on the chain today, but it's still, the front end is kind of still to catch up, which is the automatic transfer to PDEX. So now you don't necessarily need PDEX to or prior ownership of PDEX to come and trade on Polkadex order book. That was a big kind of obstacle in the past. So that's one that we're solving, and then getting rid of email. I mean, we've mentioned this all in the call before, but these are some things that cause people to bounce off, right? So if you're spending a lot of resources trying to bring them on, and they're facing these kind of walls in a way, then it's inefficient. So it's we got to remove these walls first before um, dedicating more resources to bringing people in. Yeah. All right, Gotham or Stefan, do you have anything else? Any follow up?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Thank you, Lord.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
Stefan.
Thank you. I think that's it, Gotham. I don't see any more questions, and I think our live question time was pretty good too.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for your time. Let's catch up in the next AMA, or in Discord or Telegram, wherever we'll be able to chat. And then that's it. Good night.
On my side, I just wanted to add that look out for the follow campaign coming online, and then we also have some stuff coming up with Hummingbot, and the Glimmer HRMP, or the Moonbeam HRMP channel is now live. So we'll announce that this week, and then there might be a Glimmer listing proposal coming to the chain soon. So look forward to all of that. All right, everyone. Thank you.